Coming to you live from Baltimore Comic Con. This is the 2025 Mike Waringo Comic Book Industry Awards, with appearances by Rocket Ship Entertainment CEO and publisher Tom Ake, cartoonist Keith Champagne, artist Michael Cho, cartoonist Becky Cloonan, writer Todd Dezay, cartoonist Megan Gray, writer, producer, and founder of Illuminous, Joe Illich. Writer, designer, Knopf Doubleday Publishing Group VP, art director, and editor at large, Chip Kidd. Abrams Comic Arts editor in chief, Charlie Koch. Cartoonist, Tula Lote. Writer, James Robinson. Artist, Greg Rousseau. Cartoonist, Jeff Smith. Artist, Charles Bess. Writer, Mark Wade. Artist, Matt Wyrie. Keynote speaker, Archie Comics president and editor-in-chief, Mike Pellerito, plus the recipient of the 2025 Mike Waringo Spirit Award and Your Fan Favorite Fix 2025. And now, please welcome the Master of Ceremonies for tonight's event, Randy Tischler.
Thank you. Hey, Joe, you come fix this? I'm going to speak loud for a minute. Thank you and welcome, or welcome back to many of you. You guys ready? Me too. Oh, now I'm ready. All right. 9 years ago, Mark Nathan promised me fame and fortune. 9 years in, this gig pays the exact same. And now when I walk the show floor, comics pros I've never met call me by name and ask, say, how do I score one of them Ringo swag bags? For those of you who join us annually, welcome back to the Sheraton Inner Harbor. We are live streaming and recording tonight's festivities, so I will assume everyone has signed their video release forms. This year, the comics industry has undergone some significant changes, so we had to look to bring on some new sponsors, including Act 2, the popcorn. Okay, I thought you'd get Act 4 as a new publisher, David. DC Board of Tourism. After your escort to your flight home, please remember to tip your ICE agents. The heck? The Image Awards, NAACP Image Awards. David, what the hell is going on around here? On a serious note, and as always, we must thank our generous sponsors who enable us to have this fantastic event. Most of them are here tonight, so please find them and thank them and support their products and services. Our printing sponsor is Comics Wellspring, who really came through with us with tonight's program. Our friendship sponsors include A Wave Blue World, Hard Rock Cafe, The Lab Press, and Prana Direct Market Solutions. Silver sponsors this year are IDW Publishing, Illuminous, Key Collector Comics, Metal Ninja Studios, and Shopping for Superman. Our gold sponsors include Ignition Press, NC Comic Con, Oni Press, Rocket Ship Entertainment, and Ultimate Comics. And as always, our presenting sponsors are the Baltimore Comic Con and Cards, Comics, and Collectibles. A little over 80 publishers submitted materials this year, from individual self-publishers to large comic and book publishers, and our final ballot represents titles and creators from just under 40. I have to say there were a number of creators and titles that received juror choices representing 26 additional publishers, but we don't have room for everything that was fantastic. Thank you to the publishers, the creators, and the readers for helping to shape our final ballot. We must recognize the volunteers that make the Ringo Awards banquet and ceremony possible. Rich Woodall made tonight's program, including the amazing Ringo art many of you have likely never seen before, as well as the presentation you're watching on the screen tonight. It's Rich's birthday. Dan and printed the program. Steve Connolly provided much graphic support and webmastery. Josh Gold is responsible for the physical awards. David Jeffrey is your banquet host and coordinated sponsorships. Matt Merritt handled nomination duties and is live tweeting right now. And Mark Nathan was, ironically, the adult supervision. John Maluski is our photog with the long lens, and Bruce Guthrie is at his stage left post. We love Bruce. When you come on the stage, please enter from stage right and exit stage left, so Bruce can take your picture. We don't want Bruce chasing you across the room. Our jury this year included Becky Cloonan, Steve Leaf, Mark Morales, Amy Reeder, and Hannibal Taboo, all of whom were exceptionally diligent and are augmented by our perennial jurors Todd DeZago, Craig Russo, Mark Wade, and Matt Waringo. There was an inordinate amount of worthy content read and reviewed, but you'll be hearing about their favorites tonight. Thank you to our presenters, Becky Cloonan and Tula Lote, Joseph Illage and James Robinson, Jeff Smith and Charles Vest, Tom Akel and Megan Gray, and Michael Cho, Chip Kidd, and Charles Kochman. Our gift bag tonight should not cause you to slip a disc, but is no less packed with some great content. This year's gift bag sponsors include Away Blue World, Abrams Books, Amp Comics, Archie Comics, AWA Studios, Bad Idea, Dark Horse Comics, Definitely Comics the Magazine, Ignition Press, Keenspot Entertainment, The Lab Press, Levine Querido, Lifeline Comics, Mad Cave Studios, Oni Press, Recca Publishing, Rocket Ship Entertainment, Scholastic Graphics, SourcePoint Press, V Friends Comics, and Webtoon Entertainment, as well as Michael Adams and Rob Pochak. And now, without further ado, our keynote speaker, Archie Comics President and Editor-in-Chief, Mike Pellerito.
This was a bad idea. Why did I? It's Archie. All right, I'm getting old enough now that I need reading glasses, so I apologize. All right. So, in all honesty, when Mark Nathan asked if I'd be the keynote speaker for the Ringos, I responded, cleaning this up. Hell no. But Mark can be persuasive. I asked Mark for the night to see if I could come up with something, and that's when the realization set in. 2025 is one hell of a year. So if I crash and burn, it'll be very 2025. So we've seen changes in distribution impacting publishers, retailers, leaving us all jumping, figuring out where to go from Lunar to Universal, Penguin Random House, and they've come in and stabilized the industry. The price of printing, the threat of tariffs, more rest to the already overworked people in prep ops. We joke at the office, someone put the video game setting on the hardest level and left it there. Personally and professionally, it seems like everybody is having one hell of a year. Despite all that, 2025 is not without its silver linings. We're enjoying a renaissance of some of the very best stories we've seen in years, from comics, graphic novels, manga, crossovers. This is key. All while talent proves time and time again to be the secret sauce. Many of the projects and people nominated here tonight at the Ringo Awards, an award named after a talent that left an amazing legacy of work but gone far too soon. I met Mike actually 30 years ago at Shelton Drum's show, Heroes Cop. I don't know what I talked to Mike about, but we talked a long time. It was one of those experiences where you know the guy is as amazing as his artwork and possibly even better. Years later at this show, I bought a page of Spider-Man Fantastic Four that hangs on my wall in my office, always there for inspiration. Uh, and I take that inspiration to my job in life, which is comics. And most of you know me for my day job, where I've worked for years at Archie Comics and had a handful of job titles, starting as a production artist, editor, managing editor, now president and editor in chief. Again, I don't know how any of this happened. One of my favorite compliments came from the great Howard Chaykin. Was, is he not here? I'll also clean up what he said. At a large signing, he stopped everyone to say he loves that I'm the boss of America's most wholesome comic book company. And also, while there were kids in the audience, it looks like I could break your legs if you're late on your subscription payments. Also, for the record, no one's late on their subscription payments. Not anymore. I'm lucky though. I don't have to break legs. I've gotten promoted. And at Archie, I've got a boss that actually I like to work with. We actually care about comic books. We care about the fans. And I also get to be a co-owner of a comic book store, All Yeah Comics in Harrison, New York. So I have a full-blown nerd problem. Like this is all I do. My co-owner of the store, Mark Hammond's here, along with Art and Franco. That was my midlife crisis. And I work with a bunch of people in the store that have all put their money in. The lady in blue here, a few others. Um, and they inspire me. They teach me how to be better at what we do, how to sell comics, make better comic books. And luckily, they've all become some of my closest friends. With the many jobs I've had over the years, I have a pretty unique perspective of the industry. I don't know if a lot of people have a similar view. At Archie, we deal with casual readers, kids, and mostly not comic book readers. Our audience is really anybody and everybody. We are the ultimate in accessibility for generations. I've handled distribution, working with some of the retailers in the room, big box chains, newsstand distribution, comic shops, direct to consumers, libraries, so on. I put comic books in the hands of people that have never read a comic book and that people turn into comic book lovers for life. It's a pretty good deal. I've helped with the production of various TV shows. Currently, there's a new live action Archie movie just announced from Universal Pictures, sure to bring new eyes and fans to Archie. The movie is being written by comic books own Tom King. Also, as a side note, Tom and Dan Parent are nominated for The Decision. I'm totally biased. I hope they win. You guys are awesome. So it's an event like Baltimore Comic Con and specifically the Ringo Awards, where we sit in a room full of people we know and admire from all parts of the industry and celebrate the fantastic work coming from so many, especially in a year like this. So good luck tonight. It's going to be a hell of an event. And I did not say hell.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate you starting us off on the right note. No pun intended. Or was it? Our first presenters tonight are a 2025 Ringo juror and a 2024 Ringo nominee. Please welcome to the stage Becky Cloonan and Tula Lote.
Hello. Hello. Hope everyone's having fun. Hope you all enjoyed your chicken. Um, this category is sponsored by Key Collector Comics, and the nominees for the 2025 Ringo Award for the best series are
Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees from IDW Publishing, The Blood Brothers' Mother from Distillery, Helen of Windhorn, Dark Horse Comics, Masters of the Universe, Revolution Dark Horse Comics, and The Pedestrian from Magma Comics.
and the award goes to
Oh, I love this part. Ah, the anticipation.
the pedestrian. Magma Comics. Um, so ex. So I just said Accepting this award is writer Joey Esposito and artist Sean Van Gorman Comics.
Give me. Oh, you guys. For once, I'm speechless. Um, for for those of you who don't know, I'm Showman Gorman of comics. This is my good friend Joey Esposito of comics. Um, I can't tell you how hard we worked on this. We've been grinding on this for maybe close to 6 years, pre-COVID pandemic. Um, just before lockdown, I said, Joey, let's do this weird book and let's not wait for permission to do what this is going to do. Let's just have this be just everything we love about comics. And there was no plan B. And we're very grateful to everyone who has picked up the book, to all the publishers who passed on the book initially, and to the one who picked it up. So thank you, Magma Comics, and thank you to Baltimore Comic Con. Has been so supportive of this project from the beginning, letting us do a um, exclusive Ashcan years ago. Um, Dean Haspiel as well, who's been such a champion and supporter to this book. He was the first person we showed after working a year in secret to anybody, and he was like, "Yeah, this is pretty good," and just been a champion. And especially, and also, I never had the pleasure to meet uh, uh, meet him, but he was such an inspiration to me. Reading Wizard magazine and his lessons in how to draw really unlock something in my little brain as a kid of like how movement works in comics. Really just uh thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.
I echo everything that Sean said, but I just want to say that everyone in this room really inspires us, and we're so happy to be here. And comics is the greatest thing in the world, and so we're very lucky. And thank you.
I'm just gonna put this. Wait, oh, this is the next one. Oh, good work. All right. This next category is sponsored by Shopping for Superman. Excellent. And the nominees for the 2025 Ringo Awards for Best Cover Artist are
Oliver Burrow, Evan Kegel, Franz Prado, Bilquis Abeli, Francesca Frantini, and Greg Smallwood.
and the award goes to, oh my God, Bilkis Evely. Hell yeah. Accepting this award on Bilkis's behalf is her writing partner on Helen of Windhorn, Tom King. Tom.
Bill Keys is the absolute best. She is incredibly honored. You are incredibly kind for supporting her, and I guarantee you she's over the moon. Thank you so much.
Oh,
This category is sponsored by NC Comic Con. And the nominees for the 2025 Ringo Award for Best Letterer are
Aditya Bidekar, Clayton Cowles, Amal Desai, DC Hopkins, Hassan Otsman Elhau, and Richard Starkings.
and the award goes to Richard Starkings. And we will accept this award on Richard's behalf. I don't know if we do have to make a speech for Richard, but I can say that I've known him for a very long time, and he's one of my heroes. And not many people know this, but he gave me my first ever job on Elephant Man, the first interiors that I wrote. So thank you, Richard, and well done.
Oh. This category is sponsored by Ignition Press, and the nominees for the 2025 Ringo Award for Best Humor Webcomic are
Dealing with Demons, Manta. Harlequin in Paradise, DC Go, DC Comics. High Class Homos, Webtoon Entertainment. Nothing But Nightwing, DC Go, DC Comics. Rosebuds, Comics Kingdom. And Wannabe Friends, Webtoons Entertainment.
the award goes to, oh, I can never get this out. There we go. Nothing But Nightwing, DC Go, DC Comics. Accepting this award is DC Comics senior editor Brittany Holzer. Brittany. Brittany, 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 Brittany.
Forgive me, you're gonna get a bunch of butt puns in a row. I'm accepting this on behalf of Sabrina Fuchs, who is the editor on Nothing But Nightwing. She is feeling nothing but joy to accept this award. Thank you to the talented creative team behind the scenes. Our writer, Patrick Young, artist Patrick Young, colorist Monica Cabina, and last but not least, letterer Josh Reed. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Thank you, ladies. Last year, we launched the Kevin Brogan Fidelity Award in memory of our good friend and Hero Initiative ally that we all lost. Here to introduce this award, this year's winner of the Brogan Award, is Kevin's friend and ours, Michael Finn.
Hi. Thank you. So last year, I'll do it again. I got up and I reminded everybody why we call it the Fidelity Award. Fidelity means faithfulness to a person, to a cause, or a belief demonstrated by continuing loyalty. Kevin had that in comics in spades. It was all he talked about: comics, comic art, helping people, and the Hero Initiative. Those were his favorite things. I said last year he was always telling us he was going to retire. His retirement went on and on and on for 9 years because he could not leave the Hero booth. He is responsible for the buckets on the table. He has raised so much money. He raised so much money. He set up the auctions that we all talk about. He brought so many artists to shows. If he heard that an artist couldn't get a table because it was sold out, Kevin would immediately offer the Hero Initiative booth to those artists. That's how much he cared about it. And I'll tell you a little bit about our winner in a second. But some years ago, I said to Kevin, so and so is homeless. Mike McCone. I told Kevin, Mike McCone is homeless. And then he heard me talking to Mike about how Mike was homeless. And the next thing I knew, about 2 hours later, Kevin's like, we got to have a fundraiser for McCone. I said, Kevin, he's driving his Jaguar across the country, going from show to show. He's not living in poverty. In fact, he is staying at friends' homes on their couch for free, keeping the money that he's earned. So I think Mike McCone is actually doing quite well. So I asked a few people to tell us about the winner. Last year's winner, Tom Rainey, said to me, and I have to, where's Tom? I know he's here. Tom said, Mike's work is exceptional. There's a great deal of personality in it. His work is character driven with great composition. And then Tom paused and he looked around and he said, disturbingly, everything in his work on a page that is supposed to be good is always good, and he makes it look so easy. I said, okay, but tell me about McCone, the empathetic person that he is. And Tom said, you know what? He is humble. Mike doesn't want people to know how much good he does. I have never seen Mike McCone ask for accolades for all the good work and for all the years that I have known Mike McCone. Another person, I don't know if she wants to be anonymous, so we'll call her Sheena. That's pretty close to her name for anyone who knows what I'm talking about. Sheena says, he is a hard shell with a gooey center. But here about fidelity, she said nothing is more important to Mike than honing his craft. He gets up every single morning, has his coffee, and strives to be great. And she said Mike is never going to be as good as he wants to be in his mind because he is always moving his goalposts out further and further and still further again. Every time he achieves what he thought he could, he sets the goal further and further away. As for Kevin, I know he meant the world to Mike. Mike knew Kevin had a heart of gold and would help anyone. Mike was always there for the Hero Initiative, drawing, signing books. He never said no. I wanted to say that Mike always answered the call. But for those of you who know him, you know he never answers the phone. So you have to text him, tell him you'll call, and then maybe he will answer the phone. But in all seriousness, the constants in his life are his art, his travel. I'm sorry, Lena, but Lena, and the people and friends that he loves. And I realize that Mike hates the recognition, but for his fidelity to his craft, the way he honors his talent by pushing it forward every single day of the week, and because his great generosity of spirit for everything in comics and for everybody who needs help in comics, we're going to honor Mike McCone. So I give you all Mike McCone.
Um, Thank you, thank you. I'd much rather Kevin was here and we were laughing about some idiot receiving an award like this. Um, he was the best. He was there for everyone. Um, Thank you to everyone who said some nice things under duress, I'm sure. But I'm very happy to receive this, and thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Michael, and congratulations, Mike. I'm going to pause for a second to say hi, Steve Conley. Steve's watching us from home. Our next presenters are industry luminaries and veterans. Please join me in welcoming Joseph Illidge and James Robinson.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, hello everybody. So the category is sponsored by Only Press, and the nominees for the 225 Ringo Award for Best Original Graphic Novel are Big Jim and the White Boy by 10 Speed Graphic. The Oh wait, you can keep clapping. The Deep Dark by Scalis. Erased. I'm sure I gave it emphasis. Erased. An actor of color's journey through the heyday of Hollywood by MGM Graphic Novels. Then we have Homestead by Source Point Press. And finally, Jane American, which is self-published.
And the award goes to
Ah,
Jane American, self-published. Accepting this award, our writer Jason Douglas.
Hey, everybody. None of you know me. Everybody knows her. Look, I've been a okay. I've been a public school teacher for the last 26 years. This is a dream come true over the last 4. And when you live out your childhood dream to since you were 12 to have comics in the world, the imposter syndrome kicks in pretty hard when the only 2 books that you've put in the world over the last 4 years have both been nominated for Ringo Awards and you're invited to the show, your imposter syndrome goes up another level. When you are forced to have dinner with your heroes like Mr. Chip Kidd and Charles Vess and Jeff Smith, I'm this might be a mistake. I don't know. Listen, Jane American is a World War II coming of age tale. And it's full of those universal relatable truths about identity and self-worth and you being you in a world that tells you something different. And this is a very, very personal story to me because it is named after and inspired by my late grandmother who went through all that 80 years ago. It's dedicated to every kid who's gone through my classroom the last 26 years, still struggling with identity today. And most of the people in this room know that's only getting tougher for them. It is very freshly dedicated to my late grandfather, who was my research buddy in this book because he lived it. And last year, at the age of 99, when he realized he wasn't going to make it to 100, made me promise that this book that contains the name and likeness of his high school sweetheart, my grandmother, would see print. So I did this as a promise to those very important people in my life. This is, but it's a graphic novel, and all I did was write it, and that makes it the most collaborative thing you can do, and one of the magical things about comics. And there are 3 groups of people I need to thank really, really fast that are really important why this happened. And one is my family, my wife and my wife Amy and my 3 teenage children, Aiden, Addison, and Avery, who do not care about this at all, and yet are my heart and the support that allow me to do this. There are 180 more teenagers back in Northville, Michigan right now who do care that I'm doing this, but are also equally upset that I have not graded their essays yet. And then there is the most magical group of all, the team that made this happen. And Dr. Christy Blanche right here brought that team together, edited this book. Her discovery, Annie Wright, is the 22-year-old artist out of Muncie, Indiana, who this is her very first professional work. And if you guys get a chance to check it out, it is unbelievable. I've never been more proud of a young person. Dave Lentz was our art director and our letterer, brought Annie along, made the book look as beautiful as it was. Sina Grace did a cover for us. Lorna Nalepa did a cover for us. Afua Richardson wrote a foreword that is worth the price of admission in and of itself. And yet, at the core, there is one person that I owe all of this to, and she's standing right here. And because you have heard me talk long enough, it is her turn.
This is all Jason, who is one of the most inspiring people. He talks a lot, though. If you ever answer a text from him, you know that. Shelley. So thank you so much, everyone, for giving our little book that means so much to him and so much to his family a chance. And I am so proud of Annie, who she came into my store, Oya Comics, as a customer, and I made her come to a bunch of conventions and show her work. She was too shy to, and she did it. She is amazing. So thank you so much. The Ringos are amazing. Baltimore Comic Con is the best show on the planet.
On a quick side note, Mr. Douglas said he has imposter syndrome, but he's a public school teacher for over 20 years, so he's a superhero in all of our books. This next category is sponsored by Metal Ninja Studios. And the nominees for the 2025 Ringo Award for Best Artist or Penciler Inker Team are, oh, I love this category. Oh, pronunciation key. Ilkes Evely, Kate Flynn, Daniel HDR, Eduardo Riso, Chris Samney.
And the award goes to Chris Samney.
We're accepting this award on Chris's behalf, and I am profoundly disappointed because I love Chris Samney's work and would love to have met him.
There'll be another one.
Yeah, I hope so. You next.
So this category is sponsored by Ultimate Comics. What was that? Yeah. And the nominees for the 225 Ringo Awards for Best Writer are Jason Douglas, Tom King, Oscar Osario, Scott Snyder, Kelly Thompson, James Tinian IV, and David F. Walker. And the award goes to
Billy Thompson. Kelly sends her regrets as she couldn't be here, but she sent along a few words. This is my first ever Ringo nomination, so winning, especially in this wildly talented company, was a shock. But I guess the power of absolute Wonder Woman and Jeff the Land Shark is just too tempting to pass up. Thank you so much. This comics thing is really the only thing I know how to do remotely well. So I really appreciate you guys letting me know you're enjoying it. Thank you so much, and congratulations to all the worthy nominees tonight. This category is sponsored by Illuminous, which is my company. And the nominees for the 2025 Ringo Award for Best Presentation in Design are Coins of Judas, Bards, Batman Year One Artist Edition, IDW Publishing, Mary Shelling's Frankenstein, starring Boris Karloff, and Bram Stoker's Dracula, starring Bela Lugosi, Casket Edition, Rocket Ship Entertainment, and Legendary Comics. One Bite at a Time, the first 20 years of Elephant Eater Comics, Elephant Eater Comics. Scott Pilgrim 20th Anniversary Hardcover Box Set, Oni Press. And Warm Fusion by Distillery.
and the award goes to David Mazzucchelli's Batman Year One Artist Edition, IDW Publishing. Accepting the award is designer Chip Kidd.
Thank you. Um, I wish I could say that this was the best thing that happened to me today, except at lunch on the second floor here at the grill restaurant,
I had a cup of the cream of crab soup. It was so fucking good. However, I want to thank Frank Miller for writing what I believe is the best Batman story of all time. And profound thanks to my friend and colleague David Mazzucchelli and Scott Dumbier for even asking me to do this, which was ridiculous. But how many of you have seen this edition of this book? What I'm most proud of is that this edition of this book looks like it was found in a dumpster. And the reason for that is because David didn't want to, quote, clean up any of the art, which is totally to his credit. And so it looks absolutely filthy because the art was returned to him like the front cover, you see the coffee stain that somebody at DC Comics, they put their coffee on the art and it spilled. And then they sent it back to him. So, I'm beyond honored for this. I love this book so much, and to be able to do this for him and for them is just a great honor. But that soup was fucking amazing.
Thank you, Joe and James. I'm gonna go off script for 1 second. This category was so difficult. Everything was beautiful in this category. It's just amazing books. The Batman book was amazing, but everything else was really great too. Can't say enough about it. All right, now to present the Hero Initiative Lifetime Achievement Award, please welcome writer and artist Keith Champagne. I had a quick panic attack because it's actually the humanitarian award, not the lifetime achievement award. So I was like, "Oh my god, I wrote the wrong speech." I wrote it on my phone, which is almost dead. So hopefully I can get through this before I lose my battery and ruin the night here. Let me put on my goggles. All right, let's do this thing. While I haven't been lucky enough to meet him before tonight's ceremony, if you can know somebody by their work and reputation, you can understand why it's a true honor to present Stan Sakai with the Hero Initiative's Dick Giordano. Humanitarian Award. Stan's generosity and spirit are as legendary as his work. Over the years, Stan has done events with the American Library Association, National Library Week, and he's even organized kids programs featuring Usagi Yojimbo finger puppets. That's not just dedication to comics and literacy, that's an ambassador of both comics and kindness. Stan was born in Japan, raised in Hawaii, and now lives on the mainland. His life bridges cultures. Through his work, he's shared the richness of Japanese folklore with readers around the world, connecting us all through story and heart. He's shown to be endlessly giving of his time, kindness, and talent, from community events to donating artwork to Maui Fire Relief and beyond. In short, Stan embodies the best of what comics and humanity have to offer. So please join me in celebrating this year's Dick Giordano Humanitarian Award recipient, Stan Sakai.
Well, thank you. Thank you. This is just amazing. And whenever someone gets an award like this, they always say, I'm not worthy of it. And in my case, it's true. I'm really not worthy of it. But I do love the Hero Initiative. When my first wife, Sharon, was diagnosed with brain cancer, Jim McLaughlin called every month and asked, "How's Sharon doing? Is there anything you need?" The day she passed away, a volunteer from Hero Initiative showed up at my door with 3 days worth of prepared foods, and uh, and the phone calls continued. Jim would call every month and say, "How are you doing, Stan? Is there anything you need?" When a good friend of mine, a fellow cartoonist, had to have a leg amputated, um, I called Jim and said he can't even leave his house because he's in a wheelchair and he can't go down the steps. 2 days later, Hero Initiative put in a ramp so that he could go up and down, and they had a volunteer take him to the market to get groceries and other essentials. And this is what Hero Initiative does. And for the most part, it's unheralded, but it's very important. And that's why I believe in the Hero Initiative. So thank you for this honor. Thank you.
Congratulations, Stan, and thank you, Keith. Stan, you made it through without any ink mishaps this year. And wouldn't it have been funnier if I was right and Keith was wrong? Moving on. Our next presenters have left an indelible mark on the comics industry. Put your hands together for Jeff Smith and Charles Vess.
I hope I can talk after listening to Stan. That was very emotional. We love you, Stan.
You can read it. You pull it
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
The first one at least.
All right.
This category is sponsored by Prana Direct Market Solutions, and the nominees for the 2025 Ringo Awards for Best Anthology are DC Power 2024, DC Comics, EC Cruel Universe, Oni Press, Hello Darkness, Boom Studios, The Savage Sword of Conan, Titan Comics. Uh-oh. Tales from the New World, Oscar Osorio. Hey, got it. Well done. Well done. Transphoria, Lifeline Comic. And the award goes to
All right. The best anthology award goes to Transphoria, Lifeline Common.
Huh? Oh, a bunch of people.
There you go, brother. Have it.
If you're wondering who the 4 people who just took the stage are, we are lead editor Dan Falco, uh, uh, editors and publishers Kat Calamia, Phil Falco, and contributor Brent Fisher. Thank you so much to the Ringos and to the comic community for honoring Transphoria, a trans and non-binary comic anthology, and Lifeline Comics in this way.
Yes, thank you. Of course, the best thing about working on anthologies is just the variety of talent you get when you work with so many artists and writers. Not just as a writer and editor myself, but as a reader, it was just a privilege to be able to work with so many creators to get different stories of different genres. We had horror, sci-fi, love stories, all to capture different trans and non-binary experiences. And it's just something that's at the heart of a lot of our missions. And it was just such a privilege to be able to work with them, and we're so proud of what came out of it, being able to go to conventions and prides and see the joy light up in our audience's faces when they pick it up.
Yeah, and honestly, that's been Lifeline Comics' mission is to tell these type of stories and allow people to have that platform. I mean, all of us are queer creators here, and we just want to give that opportunity people. I also want to mention we have a Kickstarter going on right now for the comic shop. Just let you know.
Advertising.
Advertising. And if you want to see more of those stories, it's such an important story. It's about a queer Black-owned comic book shop, which is also was funded on Kickstarter. So please, please check that out.
And the only thing that I'll add, and I think is the common thread that binds us all here tonight, is that the gift of storytelling belongs to everyone. And it it binds us all together. It's the common thread that unites us all the way back to the fires of antiquity. And if we're going to get through this together, it's through spreading more stories, not less. It's by sharing more voices, not less. It's by learning to understand each other through the act of creation.
Last one, I promise. Have to end off by thanking our families for their undying support and for making this book possible. It takes a village to make a comic, especially make an anthology. Thank you to my fiance Julius, who does literally everything at our company. We love you, Julius. And thank you to the backers who backed the Kickstarter, made this book possible. And most importantly, thank you to all of our contributors. We had over 40 people who worked on this anthology in some capacity, and we could not be more thankful to have their voices in here. Every story matters, and your story deserves to be told.
You read?
I read? Okay.
Yeah, you read.
You read?
I'll
You read?
pull.
Me
I'll
read.
pull.
Okay. This category is sponsored by the Lab Press, and the nominees for the 2025 Ringo Award for Best Kids Comic or Graphic Novel are Double Booking, Papercut's Mad Cave Studios. All right. Dudley Datson and the Forever Machine, Dark Horse Comics. I do that when I'm drawing comics too. Oh, I should wear them while I'm drawing. Hilda and Twig hide from the rain. Oh, Hilda and Twig hide from the rain. Flying Eye Comics. The Legend of Tiger and Tailflower. Levine Querido. I hope I pronounced that right. Querido. The New Girl by Scholastic Graphics. Night Stories, Astro Books for Young Readers, and Zor, King Spot Entertainment.
I'm letting the suspense mount.
Yes.
Best kids comic or graphic novel. Hilda and Twig hide from the rain. Flying Eye Books. They accept this award. Oh, on Flying Eye's behalf.
Well, that's nice of us.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, I guess I'm reading.
It's your turn.
Okay. This category is sponsored by Wave Blue World. And the nominees for the 2025 Ringo Award for Best Nonfiction Comic Work are Adrift on a Painted Sea, Avery Hill. Brittle Joints, Street Noise Books. Uh-oh. Any idea? Juna? Street Noise Books. Feeding Ghost, MCD. In the Shadows of Stalin, The Story of Mr. Jones, Oni Press. And the award goes to
All right, the award goes to In the Shadows of Stalin, Story of Mr. Jones, Oni Press. Oh wait, are we accepting this one too?
It's almost going. Okay, out of the way.
Accepting the award is Oni Press president and publisher Hunter Goranson.
What an incredible honor on behalf of Andrea and Ivan. Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Don't forget to read the bottom part.
Right. Am I reading this or are you reading?
I don't know who will.
I don't know. The category is sponsored by Oni Press, and the nominees for the 2025 Ringo Award for Best Cartoonist are Ada-chan, Ada-chan, Megan Gray, Patrick Horvath, Mikiel, and Eric Powell. And the award goes to
Oh no. Eric Powell.
accepting this award.
Accepting this.
Hey, everybody at the 2025 Ringo Awards. I'm really sorry I couldn't be there in person. I'm actually finishing up the inks on Thor, Behemoth of the Black Moon. And my schedule just wouldn't permit the extra travel. I'm really sorry, but I can't tell you how much this award means to me. I want to thank the voters and the organizers. No, thank you. I'm making a video for the good people at the Ringo Awards. So yeah, it especially means a lot to me to win in this category of writer artist because cartooning at its essence is really. I don't want a ham sandwich. I'm making a thank you video for the major award I just won.
Hot mustard?
I'm trying to make a video. I do not want a ham sandwich. We have turkey.
Thank you, gentlemen. It is now time for the presentation of the Mike Wieringo Comic Book Industry Spirit Award. Please welcome our perennial jurors, Todd DeZigo, Craig Russo, Mark Wade, and Matt Wieringo.
Al Milgram, you have a phone call in the lobby. Al Milgram, phone call in the lobby.
These guys are going to kill me because I'm going to go off script for a second. Sorry, but I'm going to keep it brief because I'm not very good at this. But when Mike and I were growing up in Lynchburg, Virginia, Mike was working in a vacuum. He knew nothing about the comics industry. He was doing his. Sorry, thank you. He was doing his sample pages, no idea where to send them, what to do with them. If he was just like wasting his time, he didn't know what to do. And then one day, the local paper, the News and Daily Advance, published an article about a local artist who had broken into the comics industry. And sorry, I'm a little nervous here because again, I'm going off script. So they had published an article about a local comic artist who had broken into the industry, and that gave Mike the spark that he needed to keep going. And he realized that this wasn't really just a pipe dream, that if he worked really hard and kept going, that he could break in and he could do this. So if not for Charles Vess, who was the local boy, um, it's very possible that we might all not be here tonight. So thank you, Mr. Vess. Okay, sorry, that's what you get for making me go first. Okay, so for the past 9 years, we've been honored to select and present the Spirit of Ringo Award, an award given to the comic book or graphic novel that Mike not only would have enjoyed because he liked everything, but one with the spirit of fun, adventure, and excitement that he craved. One that would spark his imagination, make him wish he'd worked on it, and make him think this is why comics are the greatest goddamn visual medium ever invented. The task of choosing that comic each year fell to the four of us because, and this, you can debate this with me, but we like to think that we're the people who knew him best.
Right. He's coming back. He's coming back. It's okay. You would think that this choice would be easy, but it's really not because Mike really did love everything. His taste in comics and graphic literature ran from one end of the spectrum to the other, from American comics to manga, from superheroes to horror, from funny animals to graphic memoirs. He appreciated it all. I mean, the writing and the artwork and the storytelling, and it has been mentioned at this podium numerous times over the years. He supported and encouraged anyone who picked up a pencil or sat down at a computer to create comics.
So it's not so easy. Each year, the four of us connect, we throw out suggestions, we read all the viable candidates, and then we'll hover for a week or two. Because Mike loved everything, it was really hard to single out just one book. We'd go back and forth, either as a group or various subsets, debating the pros and cons, knocking a book out of the running for one reason or another, settling on a final pick. And then we go back to the book we kicked out because there was that one scene that was really awesome and Mike would have loved that. It goes from being an honor to do this to being a chore to being an exercise in frustration. And finally, in the end, we're just pissed that Mike died and made us do this.
That's true. This year, however, our choice was a bit easier. Craig, or maybe it was Johnny, brought us Welcome to the Maynard. Maynard. Boy, I'm going to mess up the name of the book. Welcome to the Maynard by James Robinson and Jay Bone, a series that revolves around an exclusive hotel in San Francisco, the Maynard, frequented by magical guests and creatures. Catering to this unusual clientele, we followed the hiring of a new bellhop, Pip, a young lady excited by the whole new magical world and soon intrigued by a rash of crimes that threatened to sully the hotel's reputation. Mysteries abound in Welcome to the Maynard, and each reveal uncovers yet another layer.
So, I mean, yeah, highly recommended and a good, engaging read. And why not? You got James Robinson, right, who gave us Starman and the Golden Age and Leave It to Chance and the Saviors and so many other stuff, so much other stuff. And Jay Bone, who artworked. You wrote this? Okay. He artworked Tangled Web, Brave and the Bold, Spirit, Rocketeer, Spirit and Rocketeer, thank you, and Super Friends, two creators who really work well together, which is true.
So present the 2025 Spirit Ringo Award to Welcome to the Maynard.
Accepting the award is James Robinson, who is British.
See, you're still in the business.
Yeah. I actually didn't expect that this was what I would be standing up here to receive. I'm very delighted that I get to share this with Jay, who is just a joy to work with. And the series what was originally my idea. Jay liked it, but then immediately it became our idea because of everything he brought. Uh, sorry, I'm actually a little emotional. Sorry. I I really just want to stress what a joy it is to work with Jay. We have more Maynard planned, and he's already coming up with things. But so much of the design and the characters and the background characters and the recurring little dramas that are going on in the book, that's Jay. Um, he is just a delight. People that know him love him. I love him, and the fact that a book that isn't me doing superheroes or you know me doing airboy and getting people upset or all of the things that I've done, the fact that we tried to do a book that was akin to like a European bande dessinée, uh that kind of light quality but at the same time with drama and excitement and more importantly with hope and love and forgiveness. And the fact that you guys have given us this is just wonderful. So thank you.
Okay. The Ringo Fan Favorite Awards are a part of the nomination process, with the winners receiving the majority vote from all voters, fan and pro. To announce the winners, please join me in welcoming past fan favorite publisher of Rocket Ship Entertainment, Tom Akel, and multiple Ringo Award nominee, Megan Gray.
Hello.
Hi. Oh, I'm going first. I hear we're doing good on time, so we're going to make sure this takes a cool 45 minutes for you guys. Uh, also, happy No King's Day. Do you guys have that? Okay, I'll do the first one. This category is sponsored by Rocket Ship Entertainment, and the award for fan favorite villain goes to. Are we?
You can open
Oh, you're
Oh.
gonna do that part, right? Or then you read my screen. All right.
The fan favorite villain is Mr. Barnaby Warm Fusion by Distillery. We accept this award on Distillery's behalf. This category is sponsored by Rocket Ship Entertainment. And the award for fan favorite new series goes to.
Well, I can see through the envelope, and this is pretty funny.
Oh no.
Joey and Sean, why don't you guys come back up here? The best one. Thank you, man.
At the beginning of this evening, Joy and I had a really uncomfortable conversation as to whether or not we would win one and what would happen if we did. But now we both have one, so now it's cool. Um, Again, thank you so much to our readers and our fans who have been so aggressive about telling friends about it. We have had an amazing year. It's been a year of a lot of you will understand this, where it's kind of a grind, it's kind of a push to push yourself into this industry, to explain to people who you are passing by, This has been less of a push. It's been more of a wait and like, oh, hey, there you are. And and we're here and we're very thankful to be here. Um, and if the pedestrian were here, he would say,
Thanks. Thank you, everyone.
This category is sponsored by Rocket Entertainment, and the award for fan favorite new talent goes to
Annie Wright. Accepting this award by video is Annie Wright.
Hi, this is Annie. Thank you, Ringo, for this amazing opportunity and this amazing ceremony. Everybody there is so talented and so incredible that I'm just so honored to have won this award. I learned so much from this experience. And for that, of course, I have to thank Jason and Dave for holding my hand through the entire thing and helping me illustrate from my first comic. It's fantastic. I am so thankful for that. I'm thankful for Christy for introducing me to this beautiful world of comics. I have to thank my parents and Liz, Vin, and Oz. I have to thank Maisie for their support, and I couldn't have done it without them. I love them so much. I'm so excited to create more art, show it to the world, and I'm excited to see what I do next. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much.
This category is sponsored by Rocket Ship Entertainment. And the award for fan favorite publisher goes to
Mad Cave Studios. Accepting the award is Mad Cave Studios' publisher Chris Fernandez.
Hey, everybody, how are you? So I want to start off by thanking the Ringos and Baltimore Comic Con and all you lovely sponsors. Thank you guys very much. This is truly a full circle moment for Mad Cave. We were just really fans of comics for our whole lives growing up, and through fate, Mark London, CEO, big shout out to him. Him and I connected, and 10 years later, here we are. It's no matter what, it's always inspiring / intimidating to be in a room filled with so many of our heroes. But I want to thank you all very much for your support, for voting for us. Whether you're a fan, creator, retailer, we wake up every day not wanting to let you guys down. So we're going to continue to do that into hopefully a long time. Somebody mentioned imposter syndrome here earlier, and it doesn't get any easier. Even standing up here. So I just want to say thank you, and we'll be here for many more years to come.
This category is sponsored by Rocket Ship Entertainment, and the award for fan favorite hero goes to
Alex Senorita Cometa, webtoon. Accepting this award by video is Ari Chan.
Hello, Ringo Awards! This is Ari-chan, the author of Señorita Cometa. I wrote Alex as the hero I needed in a story that I used to tell myself for catharsis. Now, Alex has inspired a bunch of readers to become heroes themselves by volunteering in the women's shelters, joining search and rescue parties, and giving back to their community. What an honor and a privilege it is to inspire such change in the world. Thank you to everybody who voted for Alex, and thank you, Ringo Awards, for the recognition. Catch you later.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Tom and Megan. To present the Hero Initiative Lifetime Achievement Award, please join me in welcoming back to the stage perennial juror and multiple award-winning writer, Mark Wade.
Because I promised our award winner I would not gas on and on and on. So this is Kevin Nolan. Just it's Kevin Nolan. I'm not going to keep you suspending. I have. He is. He is an incredible talent, as we all know. He's just a quadruple threat when it comes to penciling, inking, coloring, lettering. He's amazing. One of the things that I find interesting about Kevin is that in these kinds of speeches, generally the word influential is dropped in. He's such an influential artist, he's such an influential writer. And God, I hope this comes off the way I wanted to come off. I don't see you as influential because no one is as good as you at what you do. Right? Like not many people draw and letter and ink like you because what the best they can possibly do is be not as good as Kevin Nolan. So that is not an ambition. I first got to know Kevin as the nicest guy. And I was doing a fanzine back before I was a pro because I thought that was my road to riches. And I had asked Kevin to do a cover for the fanzine. And he did. He did a beautiful X-Men cover, real nice painting. I mean, beautiful piece. Unfortunately, by that time, the whole enterprise had collapsed and I had left and it was in the hands of somebody else. And comes to find out later that they had eventually sent him back the artwork as they would, folded in half. So this very nice man came up to me, despite the fact that it wasn't my fault, despite the fact that it wasn't my responsibility in the least, he strode up to me and said, "It's okay. It's not your fault." He's so nice. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mr. Kevin Nolan. Eddington, it is.
Um, thank you. I promised my wife I wouldn't come up here and talk about how I really haven't deserved this, don't deserve it. So I'll just sorry. So I'll just say thank you. I'm humbled by this. I'm grateful. Um, and in a room full of this many talented people, it just really inspires the imposter syndrome in me because I'm not worthy of this. But thank you anyway. Okay, thank. Congratulations, Kevin. Courtesy of Abrams Books, we welcome the trio of Michael Cho, Chip Kidd, and Charles Kochman to present the evening's final awards. The thing about this soup was that there was a dusting of Old Bay seasoning on it, and the waiter said, before you add any salt or pepper, just mix in the Old Bay and taste it and see what you think.
Which I did. Okay, so a queer, a Jew, and a Korean walk into a comics award ceremony.
Which one am I? So before we got to get up here, Mark said, this is very serious. Don't do any of your funny business. Don't tell any jokes. So I don't know if people know I was friends with Gilbert Gottfried. And this was a joke he told every time we got on the phone. Old man walks in Central Park and he sees a park bench. And there's a kid on the park bench and there's candy wrappers all over the floor, popcorn in the grass. He sees the kid. He's got Doritos on his fingers and candy in his mouth. And he says, stop. He stops it. He says, kid, what's with the candy? Candy's no good for you. It's sugar. Sugar's terrible. Stop with the sugar. Diabetes. You'll rot your teeth. You'll lose a leg. Stop. It's no good. The kid pauses for a second. He says, you know, my uncle lived to be 90. And the old man says, and he ate a lot of candy? And the kid said, no, he just minded his own fucking business.
So it was time for my annual physical. And so I go and my doctor says, you know, you really have to stop masturbating. And I said, but why? And he says, because I'm trying to examine you. And so this isn't a joke, but it's a true story. So 3 weeks ago, I'm in the Forbidden Planet store in New York in the Village, which is fucking awesome. And in the back are all the current comic books. And I'm standing there looking at them, and then I sort of noticed to my left what appears to be like a grandfather and his little grandson, and they're looking at the Batman comics. And the grandfather says, "Hey, did you ever actually see any of the Batman movies?" And the little boy, who's about 8 years old, thinks about it and says, "Does the Lego Batman movie count?" And the grandfather says, "No."
Uh, I love the Lego Batman movie. That's my fucking favorite Batman movie. I will not be making any jokes because I'm Canadian and I'm terrified of being deported.
But I will read the first category. And this category is sponsored by Rocket Ship Entertainment. And the nominees for the 2025 Ringo Award for Best Webcomic are Mafia Nani by Webtoon Entertainment, Nove from novecomic.com, Renaissance of Raven from DC Go, DC Comics, Under the Oak Tree Manta, Vampire Family from Webtoon Entertainment, Renaissance of Raven, DC Go, DC Comics. And third is DC senior editor and lovely woman, Brittany Holsa. Also extremely stylish.
I'm not going to try to follow up any of those jokes. I'm not as funny as these guys, but I have a speech on behalf of the editor, Michael McAllister. Thank you to the Ringo Awards Committee and the voters for choosing us for this honor. We had a magical time bringing Renaissance of Raven to life. I would like to thank our stellar creative team, writer Sina Grace, our small army of artists, Nico Baskanen, Catherine Lobo, Carla Borelli, and Daniel Waris, our coloring team at Big Door Studio, and our letterer, Carlos M. Mangual. Special thanks to my co-editor, Sabrina. Thank you to the group editor, Katie Kubert, for her vision and dedication to DC Go Originals program. Without her tireless efforts, these stories would not be possible. Thank you.
So, grandmother's sitting on the beach in Coney Island. Her grandson's playing in front of her, playing in the sand, and all of a sudden a big wave comes. The kid's gone. And she's frantic, looking for the kid. She's searching everywhere. She can't find them, and she's hysterical and wailing as she's going through the water. And she falls to her knees and she says, "Dear God, you can't do this to me. You can't do this to our community. We're very religious. This will destroy the family. It'll destroy the community. You got to bring my grandson back. This is the worst thing ever." And she's pleading and begging to God. And all of a sudden, there's a big clap of thunder and a giant wave. And there's the grandson right there. And she grabs him and hugs him and kisses him. And all of a sudden, she pauses and say, "You know, he had a hat." Don't blame me. Blame Gilbert, who's not here to defend himself. So this category is sponsored by Hard Rock Cafe, and the nominees for the 2025 Ringo Award for Best Colorist are Michael Adams, Jordi Belair, Lee Lowridge, Sabine Rich, and Dave Stewart. And the award goes to Jordi Belair. Oh, we accept this award on Jordi's behalf.
So, what do two gay men do after they have sex? They go out on a date. Okay. So, at the request of the management, I'm going to be reading these nominees in the voices of Margaret Hamilton in The Wizard of Oz, Peter Lorre in Casablanca, Jimmy Stewart in It's a Wonderful Life, Elizabeth II, the Queen, Yoda, and Rick and Morty. So, this category is sponsored by Ignition Press. And the nominees for the 2025 Ringo Award for Best Humor Comic are Action Philosopher, Omniscience for Dummies, Rocket Ship Entertainment. Archie, The Decision, Archie Comics. Forces of Nature, Kids Are You Real? Drawn in Quarterly. Kids are still weird. And more observations from Parenthood, NBM graphic novels. Once, what it is. Published by Self.
Morning in Space Circus. Oh, the Rick and Star Course comics.
And the award goes to
Number one spot it is. Published by Silk. Oh. Kids, accepting the award is writer Wells Thompson. Are you real?
I'm sorry about that. It's okay. Is this real life? I don't know. Uh, so the soup. Tell me more about. No. Um, truly did not in a million years expect this. I wrote something down on because I knew that I would babble. Uh, yeah, it's surreal. Doesn't begin to cover this. It's truly a dream come true, and I'm beginning to understand why they call it breaking into the industry because it feels like a crime. I feel like I took this from someone. The nominees for this category are so good and talented. Not in a million years, I thought it's just not going to happen. I've never been more humbled. I've never. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. I am not the only one who made this comic, as some writers would have you believe. So I do want to give full props, first and foremost, our Kickstarter backers, without whom I wouldn't have a career and none of this would be possible. They brought this to life. Bianca Milanez, who drew the book, is a phenomenal artist and a phenomenal human being. And the trust that she put in me, a straight white dude, to draw a queer interracial relationship, beyond any amount of patience and just grace. Truly, I did not deserve it, and I'm so thankful for her partnership. DC Hopkins, best letterer on the planet, in my opinion. Krista Harroder, amazing editor. Brenda Snell, the only person I will ever trust to design a book. And my wife, who not only tolerates me, but did co-write this book. She is so smart and so funny, and as you can tell, is responsible for probably most of the jokes in the book. And I could not be here because she has a real job. Thank you, Charlie. But regardless of whether or not we won, and somehow we did, just deepening my relationships with all of those people and professionals is one of the greatest achievements of my life, and I'm so happy we got to make this book. Given the subject, I do want to do a small call to action. I'm sorry. I won't pitch you my Kickstarter comic, I promise. Instead, I will say currently payment processors, Stripe, MasterCard, Square, et cetera, are enabling themselves to be censors of erotic content on the internet. And that is a danger to us all. I would strongly encourage you to call those payment processors and tell them that is not acceptable. They should not be acting as de facto censors, because if they can censor erotic artwork, they can censor revealing costumes and saucy fan art and the things that all of us do and make to survive in this crazy industry. So please, if just because they're smut artists doesn't mean that they aren't important. And in fact, if they're under attack, you are under attack. So I urge everyone in this room, please do your part, call the processors, make sure they know it's not okay. A refrain in the book is, I will be a better person for you. And I feel very strongly that was a love letter to my wife when I wrote it, but I feel very strongly about that in this moment to all of you, all of the professionals who have been so kind to me and so welcoming into this space. I will be a better creator for you. Thank you so much for this extraordinary honor. I promise the book is funnier than this speech. And since you've already broken the taboo, as a Chicagoan, as someone from Illinois, I do have to say, fuck ICE, get out of my city.
One second, hold on. I have your sponsor on. He told me he wasn't there.
Urine sample. First. Okay. This category is sponsored by Ignition Press and the nominees for the 2025 Ringo Award for Best Humor Comic. But you did this. You just did this. Duh. Jeez. Oh, and you're
Both drunk.
speaking about my sponsor. Like, is your
I'm taking this over so that we can have something to do. This category is sponsored by IDW, and the nominees for the 2025 Ringo Award for Best Single Issue or Story are. I'll leave it to the sober one.
My glasses. I'm getting more and more like my father. Batman and Robin Year One, #1, DC Comics. A Blue Flame in Secondhand Love, drawn and quarterly. The Crying Boy, Keen Spot Entertainment. Death Ratioed, AWA Studios. FML #1, Dark Horse Comics. Helen of Windhorn, Dark Horse Comics. Navigating with You, Maverick. A Never Ending Adventure, Oscar Azario. Trinity Special, World's Finest #1, DC Comics.
and the award goes to Batman and Robin Year One, #1. That's DC Comics. Accepting the award is writer Mark Way.
I truly did not expect this. I mean, this is first off, this is Chris's award, man. If you've ever worked with Chris, you have to understand I've never worked with a better storyteller, with a better human being, with a more enthusiastic creator. This Batman book is his dream job. And I will tell you as a writer, thank you for this award. And if you ever get a chance to work with Chris Somney, back the fuck off. Mine. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Those of you who had not been here before and were asking me tonight how long this evening would go, it is 10:45. A huge congratulations to all of tonight's nominees and winners. We always feature an amazing, diverse array of creators, books, and publishers represented. If you have not made your way to your local comic shop or webcomic portal to check them out, what are you waiting for? Thanks to our presenters, staff, the voters, the publishers who submitted works for consideration or just put out amazing content, and most assuredly our sponsors who you see here on the screen. Please follow them and support their products and services. If you are posting about tonight's celebration, please tag us on socials. If you won tonight and want the box for transportation, see me after. Thank you all. We will see you again on September 26th, 2026. Good night, everybody.